Right, towel at the ready, that's all you need, and we are starting standing. It's a good all-rounder this morning, so shoulders, hips, feet, core, the lot. Lovely, let's start with our feet hip width as normal. When we're standing up, try to put your heels underneath your hip bones and in all planes, so not just directly underneath, so your heels seem like they're in line with your hips, but you also need to back your hips up. So your hips are over your heels, so it's very slight. It's from this to this, which makes a mountain of difference in your body. And spread all your toes out and put them on the floor. So try and have nice wide feet. So all your toes have contact with the floor, but they shouldn't be gripping the floor. And then let's take your arms out and take them across you, cross them over, and you're hugging yourself. You're trying to get hold of each of your shoulder blades and try and get as much shoulder blade as you can into your fingers. So you're really separating your shoulder blades away from your spine, and try lifting and lowering your shoulders here. There might only be a small movement, lifting up and lowering. And now let's stay on the lower part of that. And we're going to roll our body. So you're taking your head in a circle, and that will take your ribs in a circle, and your hips we're keeping still, but you don't worry about keeping them rigidly still. And as you roll, you'll feel a stretch that changes in the roll. Let's go in the other direction. And just keep thinking about your shoulders staying down. We're going to carry on, but we're going to change the cross of our arms. So arms come out, other arm is on top. Hopefully you'll feel the difference. Lift and lower. Your shoulders come down, and then we'll circle again. And now as we're circling this time, we're just going to think about our feet staying anchored down onto the floor and our breath going below our arms. So nowhere where our hands or arms are touching moves as you breathe in and out. Let's circle around the other way. Okay, and then let's bring our heads over our ribs, which are over our pelvis, which are over our heels. Hands on your hips. Lift and lower your heels. So tiptoes and then down. If this bothers the back of your legs, the back of your calves are really tight, then really lower slowly. If there's any sort of pain in the lower part of the calf, then the tendon could be really tight. So you just have to make it a really slow lower so it's not a big shock. And also if you have pain in your heel, that's the same thing. That's the sign of that, or the tendon of the calf and the plantar fascia all being just too tight. So you just want to keep it really gentle. Don't shock it. And we're going to stay with our heels down now. So heels come down, and then back your hips up, which bends your knees, and bring them forward. So you're backing your hips up, you're shooting your hands back behind you, and your back shape should stay pretty much the same. And your knees are bending, but rather than bending and taking your body down, your hips go back, which happens to bend your knees. So it's a subtle difference in words, but a massive difference in how you move. Let's try and put some breathing into that. So we're going to breathe in, breathe out to send your hips back. Breathe in up. I'm slowing down now. Now I've brought in breath. Breathe out, sit back. If you can see yourself in a screen or in a mirror, it's quite handy to know that you're not doing this, like going over to one side and using one glute far more than the other. So try and send your hips back equally, or you can think, oh gosh, I always go over that side. So then you just target the other side. Because you can feel as you go back, you might be able to feel your trousers or shorts pull on the back of your legs. So the same thing is happening to the muscle, or not happening if you're going over to one side. Okay, we're going to stay down in the squat. You don't need to go down too far. So just do a little bend of each knee. And then we're going to choose a leg to lift. So I have a favorite. I would lift this one. So this is my favorite weight bearing one. So we're going to do the other. So we're just going to try and break the habit of always favoring one leg so that that other one gets a chance to fire. So you've chosen your one. And then we're going to lift the other one without much swaying from side to side. So we're going to try and keep our body as much as we can in the same position, and the other leg will lift. And you're going to step forward with that foot, then step back. I'll show you what it looks like sideways. You're stepping forward, you're stepping back. But really, you've got all your weight on one foot. So you're not relying on the moving foot, and this is exactly what this hip is required to do. So when you push off the floor behind you and then step down in front of you, that foot's flying through the air, and the other foot needs to be supporting all of your body without your hips going out to the side too much or slanting too much. So that's got to weight bear. And you should be able to feel it bearing your weight here in the outer hip. And if there's any problems down this line, that's where you're going to feel it. So if you really feel it in your calf, it might be that your calf is having issues connecting your foot to the floor. Okay, let's stay with the foot behind now. So we're going to just exaggerate each of those points. We're going to take that foot back behind you, but it's liftable, so nothing changes. It's just where it is. It's not bearing any weight. And then the same arm as that leg that's gone behind you is going to reach forward. Just imagine there's just something about 1 meter in front of your foot on the floor, and you just do a small reach towards it. It's going to be about like 10 centimeter move of your upper body. And you'll feel this hip load up even more. And then bring that arm back. And then reach forward. Feel that loading up there. And the hand goes back. Reaching forward and back. So the whole time you should feel this hip working. And then there's more as you do that reach forward. We're going to hold this next reach. So you reach forward. This knee should be directly over the foot, but this hip has popped out to the side. It's not like this. This hip is actually like this, and it should be. And that's all there now, having a good old burn, hopefully. Okay, let's bring your hand to your hip, and now we're going to take that foot off behind you. Hopefully it doesn't change any of your positioning. And we're going to bring it in front of you as if you're now the second part of the gait cycle. So you've pushed off the floor behind you, you bring that leg forward, and you're about to take your weight onto it, but we're not going to. Put that foot flat down on the floor, and then push your hips back behind you. And then come up. So we're going to kind of actually shoo chickens away. So you're going to sit your hips back, and then there you go, shoo the chickens away. And then you come up, and again, we're shooing the chickens away. And now we're going to carry on shooing the chickens, but this time with your heel down and the rest of your foot lifted and curled in towards your shin. So then we go like that. Off you go, chickens. And then back up. And then again. This shouldn't be bothering your back. So if it does, then it's tight round here. But just really round your spine. We don't want the spine to limit the stretch down the back of the leg. Okay, we're going to hold this last one. There you go, shoo the chickens away. Hold it here. Reaching forward, breathing, curve your spine a lot if you feel it like a big strain in the low back. Okay, and then let's come in and step that foot in. So that hip should feel like a bit now. The second one will be a bit shorter, which is going to be our favorite one, so that's okay. Hands on our hips. Feet back to hip width and parallel. Let's go back to the double leg squat. We're sending our hips back far behind us. Exhaling as you bend and hips go back. And you can feel here the muscles that should be working both hip on the ones that we've worked, that should be working both legs. Let's go into a small squat, chin tucked in, ribs stay down. And now we're going to lift our favorite leg to lift, leaving our favorite hip down on the floor. If you haven't got a favorite, that's fine. You're lucky. Step forward with that foot, then back. Forward and back. Keep thinking of that foot on the floor. Needs to be nice and spread out. Need all the toes really wide, taking up lots of space on the floor. Weight in your heel, weight across the ball of the foot equally. And that moving foot can move slow enough that you know that you can balance on this foot. If you get knee trouble, you need to check that that knee is over the foot. That hasn't done this. That this is the classic problem when you get pain in your knee, is that knee goes inwards. Right, let's do the reaching forward. We're going to stop with the foot behind us. Remember, there's no weight on that foot, it's just there. And then the same arm as the back leg is going to reach forward as if there's something there on the floor. And you do a small move forward, really small. And you feel that hip load up. Don't let this be a grip of your toes. And then bring that arm back. And again, we're reaching forward. And then arm comes back. And again. And two more. And it may be tempting to change your foot position or foot position, but just leave it where it is. Let's stay in that reach forward now, feeling that glute taking all your weight. Well, all the glutes, there are 3 working right now. Okay, then that hand comes in and then step the back foot off and do that whole cycle round that it does. So back foot comes forward and we're going to heel strike on the floor in front of us and put that foot down. And then shoo the chickens away and come up. And again, this is with a flat foot in front of us. So you're reaching forward. You can do another, if you really want to act the chickens, and you can do another shoo. Now we're doing heel down, front of the foot up, toes curled right up towards your shin. And again, shoo the chickens away. Breathing in, breathing out. And if you are tight in your low back here, this will limit the stretch, and it shouldn't, because that whole back line is connected. So if you're limiting the stretch here, then you're not getting anything down there. It's just all going to be in that area. So just round your back. Let's do one more, just doing a lot of chatting. Okay, good. And then let's come up and step that foot in. So they should feel equally worked, but that won't mean that they feel equal. You might find that, you know, one of your hips are way more accustomed to doing all that sort of thing than the other. Feet are going to go wide now, slightly turned out. Take your hips back, drop your ribs down so you're not favoring the front of your feet. And we'll just have a little stretch through the shoulders. And the shoulders connect to the upper spine and the neck. So really no strength or coordination can be found in the shoulders unless that part of the spine works properly. So we're going to do them all together. We're going to start off with your palms facing up, elbows touching your sides. So that it looks like that from the front. And then keep your elbows touching your sides. Lift your shoulders up and down. Now leave them as far down as they can go and take your hands out as wide as they can go, thumbs pushing back behind you, elbows still touching your sides. Then bring your arms in, then take your arms out, in and out, in and out. And now we're going to move our neck at the same time. So let's drop our bottom rib down so you've got a curve in your upper back. You should have a curve in your upper back. Now we've kind of got it into our heads that we need to be like this to have a good posture, but actually a good posture is a curve inwards of your low back and a curve forwards of your upper back. That's right, that's what we're supposed to have. It's just societal weirdo things that people tell us shouldn't happen. Tuck your chin in And as you next open your hands out wide, you're going to push the back of your head backwards. You're trying to get as many chins as you can. Your chin tucked right down in towards your chest, the back of your head pushed backwards and also drawn upwards. So not only are you trying to get chins by your chin going in, you're trying to get loads of chins by the back of your head lifting up. And that will limit how much you feel like you can open your hands. You'll feel that that shoulder flexibility has been affected by the upper back extension. Okay, now let's relax that, and then we go into called an upper cross syndrome, kind of text neck like this, and then open your hands out. That externally rotates the shoulders. You extend your upper spine, you extend your neck, and then we'll relax that again. We'll do 2 more. I hope you can actually see what's happening here. So hands going out, lots of chins, shoulders are down, ribs are down though. So we're going for extension without that being a rib hoik. And then 1 more. So there we extend. And really reach the crown of your head up towards the ceiling as you do that. Okay, and then let's relax that. Hands on your hips. Let's get to our inner thighs. So we're going to bend one knee, go into a side lunge. Straighten that, bend the other. Okay, now let's think about our hips going back rather than our knee coming forward to do that side lunge. Small difference in words, big difference in how you move. So you're sitting your hips right back. Just imagine there's a sofa way behind you and you're trying to sit on it sideways, bit of a weird way of sitting down. So after this one, we're going to carry on, but we're going to turn our feet so that our feet seem parallel. So you almost want to have them turning in towards each other. And then do the same thing. Sit your hips right back, come up, sit your hips the other way. So you'll feel very different stretch in your inner thighs. Now it's much higher and much more actually in the area that people have issues in your inner thighs. Remember, your inner thighs need to work well in order for your outer thighs to work well. And outer thighs and inner thighs, it's all hip. There isn't actually a place in the body called a hip. It's that whole bit that hugs the top of your thigh. Okay, let's make these the last ones. And then come up, both legs straight. We're going to do tiptoes, up and down, heels lifting and lowering. If you need to turn your feet out now because you're going to fall on your face with them lined up, then that's okay. But try and gently bring your heels down, equally bring your heels down. And we're going to join this up with an inner thigh stretch, also an inner thigh work. Heels are next time your heels are down, leave them down, bend both knees, send your hips back behind you. So we're down in a squat, bottom going right back behind you. Bring your rib down, bring your chin down, and lift and lower your heels here. Try and stay on the balls of both feet. So knuckle of the big toe and knuckle of the little toe, both down on your floor pretty evenly. And as we're going up and down now, these calf elevators, I call these, we're going to bring our hips lower and lower. So just segmentally bring your hips down as low as you can manage while keeping both feet with about the same weight. Both sides of the balls of each foot taking weight equally. And your heels are able to get to the floor. Knees need to be wide here, so don't let your knees come nearer than your feet. Okay, let's keep both heels down. Push through both feet and come on up. Whew, should feel like quite a stretch there. Walk your toes and heels in towards each other. So they're about shoulder width apart, maybe a bit wider, but they're not super wide and they're not hip width. And let's take both arms up in the air, reach up, try and touch the ceiling, and then take that into a side bend, but keep the reach. So we want lots of length there, but rather than trying to go into a massive side bend, we're trying to get it long. Big breath here, and then reach up to the ceiling and then over to the other side, keeping it long rather than keeping it bendy. Both arms up to the ceiling again. Let's put one hand down your back. The other hand's going to help that hand get down your back by just pushing that shoulder back. Keep your ribs down here. So we're doing a little push, only needs to be like slightly stretchy feeling, nothing more. And then we're going to side bend away from that stretching side. Take a big breath here. And then come up, other hand behind your back, other hand gives it a hand. Keep your ribs down, side bend. And breathe in and out here. So trying always to breathe into our sides. Lovely, let's come on up. Hands back onto your hips. We're going to bend both knees and then lift one heel up, swivel that foot out and bring the knee down towards the floor. So we're bringing the knee down to kind of a point in between both feet. Lift up, heel down. Other knee does the same. Come back, it swivels back. So it's as if you're trying to bring the knee down directly in between both feet, but if you want to go further out, you can. We're doing a good old swivel there. And we're going to take these right down onto the floor. You might want to come back to doing these if you find those too difficult. There's another adaptation for those as well. So next time you've got straight legs, or my feet are getting really wide, bend both knees and come down into a crouch. So see, if it's too difficult for you to crouch here, then you can stay in that other position, or I'll show you one with your hands in front. First of all, we're on the crouch, my heels are lifted. I'm bringing one knee down and it's coming over towards the other foot. Lift it up, other knee down, lift, down, lift, down. So we keep doing this. You can have your hands in front of you and do this in all fours. Your knee coming down to the floor and in towards your midline. Or you can do the version that we did before, standing up. Or you're balanced. Okay, let's just do a couple more on each side. It's great work for the feet. And then we're going to bring both knees down to the floor. Walk your hands forward so we're in all fours. You can, if you want to, cushion your knees with the towel, but only do that if you absolutely have to. In all fours, hands shoulder width apart, palms spread out, shoulders slide down your back, chin tucks in, and we tuck your ribs up in towards your body. Tailbone should be slightly lifted. We're breathing here, and your breath in expands your sides and brings them in as you exhale. Toes should be tucked under. And we're going to use the breath to move and do cat pedals. We're going to try and keep our spine in exactly the position it's in now. And as you exhale, lift one hand off the floor and put it back down again. Breathe in, breathe out, move. So our shoulders keep really still here. They're also down away from your ears, and your spine stays in position and your breath keeps you still. And this whole exercise is an anti-rotation exercise. If you didn't keep your shoulders still, you do this. So you are working your core to stabilize your rib cage so that you don't rotate as your cat paws come off the floor. When your next hand is off the floor, hold it there. We're going to keep everything as it is, but we are going to move now, but purposefully. So the lifted hand is going to reach behind the arm on the floor, and we're going to let that shoulder come down, but you're keeping that stabilizing shoulder in place. You've rotated on it. So we go to thread the needle. You're reaching right through with that hand. Take a big breath here, and then we swivel on that same shoulder and take that arm up towards the ceiling. Breathe in, breathe out, thread through. Breathe in here. Breathe out, take that arm up. One more. And then put that hand down, shoulders on the same level. Take a breath in. Exhale, other hand lifts. Reach it through. Breathing out, take your arm up. Breathing out, move through. So you hold and breathe in. And breathe out and move. And after this one, we're going to put our hand down on the floor. Put your knees together and your feet together. Walk your hands back to your knees. Lift your knees off. And then put your heels down. Bring your hands up to your knees. So we're in a crouched position. Hips shot back behind you. Feet together, knees together. And let's circle our knees. Keep your feet flat down on the floor. So you'll notice your feet move, but try and keep the knuckle of your big toes down. Okay, let's go round in the other direction. So other circle round the other way. Okay, and then we'll stop the circles. Take your hands down towards the floor. Walk your hands forward. Knees still together, feet still together. And bring your knees down to the floor. Knees still together, feet still together. We want to bring your hands forward so your hips are over your knees. Toes tucked under, shoulders down away from your ears, ribs lifted, chin tucked, and then wag your tail from side to side. You're taking your hips left, then right. Literally as if you've got a tail. Your ribs kind of trying to be still here. And then we're going to move this into a rotation of your pelvis. So we're going to stop with our hips over our heels. You take a breath in and then breathe out and hover both knees off the floor. So I've gone from here to here, a very small difference. Back shape stays the same, shoulders down away from your ears. And then we're going to swing our knees from side to side. I'll show you what that looks like from my bum view. You can always go back to the tail wagging. It's pretty hard work. Keep breathing. Okay, we'll come back to this brilliantly. Let's take our knees over to one side and come to sit on your hip. Elbow comes down to the floor, the weight-bearing elbow. The other hand is going to reach forward along the floor. Lift your ribs right up away from the floor And when you stretch, you should be able to feel a really quite a big twist in your spine. You'll feel your lats stretch, so the big muscle down the side of your back. Okay, let's take that stretch off. So we're going to reach the hand down past your hip. Take a breath in, breathe out, reach up. Again, sort of diagonally along the floor. So if your head's pointing to 12 o'clock, you're reaching to kind of 10:30 or 1:30, depending. Lift your ribs away from the floor. Okay, and then let's bring that hand down. You can use it as much or as little as you want to. If you can get a big twist, then you can bring your arms down so your forearms are parallel, and you'll feel a very big twist. And use your elbows equally on the floor. Otherwise, you're mostly on one elbow and the other one's hand. Okay, let's lift your top leg and bring it forward and back. Keep your ribs tucked in here. Need a bit of space. So when your leg goes back, you don't take your ribs right away from your pelvis. So it just, the stop of the leg comes from the front of the hip, front of the thigh. Let's take the leg in front of you and try straightening it. Bend it, take that leg behind you and try straightening it. We'll do that 3 more times or 2 more times, 3 altogether. In front, straighten, bend, go back, straighten, bend forward, straighten, bend back, straighten. And now bend that knee and put it on top of the other one. We're going to take our top arm and put it on our hip and turn our shoulders sideways to the floor. Just have a look at your feet. They need to be in line with your hips here, so bring them back if they're not in line already. Lift out of the shoulder on the floor. That ear should be right away from your shoulder. Waist right away from the floor with your ribs tucked in towards your pelvis. So we're going to keep our hips down for the start of this, and then you can opt to put them down again later if you want to. We're going to keep your feet together and lift your knee. So this is the clam. Physios love it. It really doesn't have any useful functional benefit for your body. So I don't know what's so bandied around. So we're going to do a bit of it, but we're going to make it better. So you can come back to this if you want to, but next time your knee is up, try lifting your hips off the floor, lifting them right up, push them forward. So you've got knee lifted, hips pushed forward, and hips lifted. You'll feel a lot of work going on here in the middle, in your middle. Then take your hips back, bring that knee down and lower your hips down. Watch out for this shoulder. So if it gets too much, then you've stopped in the shoulder. Knee up, lift up, push forward, breathe in, breathe out, lower. Breathe in, get ready, breathe out, lift. Breathe in, hold, breathe out to lower, hips go back. Let's do 2 more. Knee up, lift up, push forward. Knee down, hips back, hips down. Last one, lift. Now you can hold it here, or you can go back to having hips on the floor, or we're going to do 6 quick ones. Down and up, down and up. And again, 3 more. Last one. And then knees together, hips come down. Good. Hands, elbows change to hands. Feet are together, toes connect to the floor. We're going to flip back into all fours. Knees together, feet together, ankles together. Let's pelvic tilt and take these into cat stretching. So you're tucking your tailbone, rounding your spine, and then bringing your spine back to neutral. Okay, next time your spine is in neutral, tailbone slightly lifted, ribs tucked in, shoulders down away from your ears. Toes connect to the floor, take a breath in, breathe out, hover your knees and swing your knees from side to side. So rotating your pelvis back to this lovely one. Turn around. Okay, and then let's take our knees over to one side, come down onto the hip. So now we're facing the other way. I've turned around in case you're thinking, whoa, what's she doing like that? So you're now facing the other way. You may need to turn. So you've got your elbow on the floor, other hand on the floor as well. Maybe elbow, maybe not. So just go for the twist. Knees stay together, hips together. Lift your ribs away from the floor and reach forward with your top arm. So holding that stretch. Just going to take a layer off. And then let's take that stretch off. So you reach with that top arm back past your hips. And then go back into the stretch and the twist. So reaching forward. And then we're going to bring that hand down to the floor, elbow down if you can manage, and your forearms parallel if you can twist that much. Ribs need to be lifted away from the floor. Top leg is going to lift, and we're going to bring it forward and back. So it stays parallel to the floor, and you just want to feel that the leg can go back, and we try and extend that hip, but we're not trying to extend it by cheating and compressing your low back and really hoiking your ribs up. Your ribs stay connected to your pelvis in front of you, and there may be disappointingly less hip extension than you're hoping. And now let's take the leg in front of us, straighten it, bend it, take it behind, straighten it. Again, bend it, bring it in front, straighten, bend it, take it back, straighten. Bend it, bring it forward and put your knees together. Top arm is going to come up. So you swivel your chest round, top hand on your top hip. Your feet may need to move back here so that your feet are stacked, knees are stacked, feet are in line with your hips. Shoulder stays down away from your ear. Watch out for the supporting shoulder here. Ear needs to stay away from the shoulder. So if the shoulder can't manage all those cues, then you just bring your hips down. So we start off with the clamshell. And then we take it into a side bridge. So your knee comes up, your hips lift, press forward. We're pressing that knee up, hips really pressing forward, everything on. Take a breath, breathe out, knee comes down, hips go back, gently lower. And again, knee up, lift, press forward. Breathe in here, breathe out, slowly go down. Hold to breathe in. Slowly down. Okay, let's do one more. Let's hold this one. Really pushing that knee up, really pushing both hips forward. And we're going to do 6 quick ones. Slowly, quickly lower, lift up, lower, lift up. Press your hips forward, lower, lift, press, lower, lift, press. Keep your ribs tucked in here. So keep your back long. Last one. Good. Knee comes down, hips go down. Woo! Right, let's go on to our back. We're going to roll up our pelvis for lying on our back. Not roll up our pelvis. We're going to roll up our towel to go under our pelvis. Oh, after all that, can't talk. So You need your towel in a tight roll. You can use a half roller if you happen to have one, like one of those cut in half rollers. And then we're going to go on our back, careful as you go down, and put the rolled up towel or your half roller underneath your pelvis. So feel where the top of your pelvis is. You should be able to touch the top of your pelvis just before it meets the roller. So your low back is over air, and feel like your tailbone, the lower part of your sacrum is on the towel. Okay, and then tuck your chin in. This is more of a relaxing one after that hecticness. We're off our shoulders, which is nice. Make sure your chin is tucked in. You might need to keep retucking your chin as your back relaxes and lowers down towards the floor. You'll find your chin lifts, like your head almost feels like it's moving along the floor, or it actually does move along the floor. So chin tucked in, relax your shoulders down. Let's put our hands on our tummy just so you've got some extra encouragement for a back release. And we're just going to take a few breaths here. Just note where your back is right now. If you tend to get low back pain, you might feel that it doesn't really know what to do with itself in this position. You might, if you get pain on one side of your back more than the other, you might even feel a bit twisted here. You might even be a bit twisted here. Okay, and then what are we going to do? Forgotten. Oh yeah. And then we're going to leave our hands where they are. Take a breath in, breathe out, lift one leg up into a tabletop position. You'll feel your low back get heavier down into the floor. You might need to retuck your chin. We're going to breathe as we bicycle this lifted leg. So we're going to take it straight up to the ceiling, slightly push the heel away. It doesn't need to be a massive, rigid, like hard hamstring stretch, but you're instructing the back of these leg muscles to join in, and lower your leg down. It will just get maybe just past the thigh of the other leg, then bicycle it round, leg goes up and lower. So we're going to breathe in to cycle the leg round to be vertical, and then breathe out and it lowers. One more. Let's do one more actually. Okay, bend that leg, lower that leg, and then bend the knee, put the foot on the floor. When you put the foot down, you don't want your hips to feel like they're rejigging themselves on the towel. You want to feel that your hip bones are at the same height all the time during the movement. Other leg, breathe in and exhale to lift it. Straighten that leg up, heel pushes away, breathe in to get ready. Breathe out, lower the leg. Breathe in, cycle round. Breathe out, lower. You don't want to feel like your low back is being pulled off the floor or being tensioned in any way. So if you feel that, your leg needs to lower less low. One more. And then bend your knee and bring it back into tabletop. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, lift the other leg up into a tabletop position. You may need to adjust where you are on the towel, tucking your chin in. Low back will feel quite low here. Take your knees away from you, so your knees are over your hip bones, and straighten your legs up. If they don't go straight and you just got them off at an angle, then keep them bent. So your knees are over your hips in either position. And we're going to push our heels slightly up. We want to activate the back of our legs always. You feel that in the front of your shins there, it's only bone, there's no muscle there at all. So the muscles down the front line of muscle actually swivels around your leg. The back line has a big part in core function and how your glutes move. So that heel pushing away switches them on. And then we're going to scissor our legs towards us and away. So like you're walking on the ceiling, keeping your legs as straight as you can, or they're bent, and you just imagine you're scissoring your knees on the ceiling. How big your scissors don't really matter, how big the scissors are, but you want to have them over your hips, and we're trying to keep our low back relaxed and out of the equation as we move our legs. You might also see that you're walking with duck feet. Bring your feet in so that your feet stay parallel for the whole action. They stay on tram lines parallel. And then we're going to bend one knee, bring your knee right in towards your chest, hold it onto it really tightly so your low back will be really far down, and then lower the other leg down, pushing the heel away, just slightly. It doesn't need to be a really rigid push of that heel away, until that leg hangs off its hip. If your towel's really small, that leg might be lower, but you can push the towel up so it's not on the floor. So your hip is stretching and your low back is off. It's a lovely stretch if you get low back pain. Let's change legs now. So bring the other knee in, hold onto it, bring it in, other leg up towards the ceiling, heel pushes up, and lower that leg down. Okay, let's bend both knees, put one foot down and then the other. Have a little moment and feel where your back is now. And then lift off the towel. We'll take it out and settle your back down onto the floor, and it will feel nice and flush with the floor if it normally feels quite tight and held. Keeping our towel in a roll, we're going to take it up towards the ceiling. If it's come unrolled, don't really worry too much about it. It's just having a weight in your hands. This can also be the half roller or a block if you have one. So you can hold on to each end of the towel or cup the towel up towards the ceiling. So your palms are on the towel, backs of your hands face towards your head. So either position, maybe this cupping your hands upwards is marginally better. Draw your elbows in towards you. So your elbows are as wide as your hands. Tuck your chin in and let your shoulders rest on the floor. So you let your shoulders come down. So rather than have your shoulders lifted here, they're down, small widening of your chest. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, take that towel back behind you, only to the point where you feel like there's no strain in your back at all. If you feel there's a slight lift of your back, bring the towel slightly up from there. You don't want to go back that far. We're going to breathe in, take the towel up. Breathe out, take the towel back. If one shoulder can do better than the other, it's just going to have to lag behind to let the other one stay in line with it so that the towel stays level. So your arms go back and they come up, but your ribs stay down and your core stays connected. Okay, next time the towel is up to the ceiling. Keep it there. Push through both feet, lift your hips up. So try not to have moved your feet there. See if you can lift your hips even higher. So we're in a high bridge, but we're not lifting our rib cage up. So our rib cage is down relative to our pelvis. It gets lifted, but we haven't hoiked our ribs higher than our pelvis. Breathe here, and as you breathe out, take the towel down towards the floor and lift it up. It will get nearer to the floor now because the movement is relative to your rib cage. So the towel comes up as you breathe in, and the towel goes back as you breathe out. Keep equal pressure in both feet. Keep each hip bone on the same height. So if you can feel there's a slacking side, we're going to sort that out in a minute, but you could also try and correct it now. Toes should be down on the floor, not gripping, but down. Next time the towel is up to the ceiling, hold it there. Roll your spine down onto the floor. Take one leg up towards the ceiling. The only leg change that you could have now is to bring your heel closer to your bottom, but try not to bring it nearer to your midline or turn the foot in or out. The foot should be in line with your body. Push into that foot on the floor, lift your hips up, then push the lifted foot right up towards the ceiling. So that hip gets higher than the other one. Keeping all of that, we're going to push slightly away with the heel of your foot up towards the ceiling. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, you're going to lower that leg and take the towel back behind you. Breathe in to lift them up. Breathe out to lower them down. This needs to feel as coordinated as the other exercises that we've done, so only lower as far back as you feel like everything works. Keep that lifted legs hip high. If you feel cramping in the hamstring of the leg on the floor, then you'll need to stop. Good, you should feel this all in the glute and hamstring of the foot on the floor. Let's make this one the last one. Holding up, roll your spine down, change legs. Check the foot on the floor is right up towards your hip, but in line with your hip, toe pointing directly away from you. Push into that foot, lift up. Lift the lifted foot right up towards the ceiling. Make the heel a little bit higher than the toes. Breathe in here, and as you breathe out, lower the towel, lower your leg. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out, lower. Lift and lower. Watch that foot on the floor. Make sure the toes aren't lifted off the floor nor gripping. Make sure you've got equal weight throughout that foot. And keep the lifted hip high. Let's make this one the last one. Towel up, leg up, and roll your spine down. Put that foot down. You put the towel behind your head. Might be a bit too big, but doesn't matter. And tuck your chin in towards your chest. We're going to cross one foot over the other leg, so the ankle is on the end of your thigh, and try and take that knee far away from you. Arms are going to go wide on the floor, palms up, facing up towards the ceiling. We're going to roll so that your side of your leg with the foot on the floor comes down towards the floor, and the other foot is trying to make a footprint on the floor. Then lift up and roll the other way. Won't go as far. And then roll back again. And back the other way. Okay, we're going to keep in that roll with the footprint of your crossed over foot on the floor. And have that knee open wide up towards the ceiling. Try and keep your shoulders down on the floor. Breathe here. Okay, and then let's flip that whole thing back and change the cross. Bring the heel right up towards you of the foot on the floor. Knee presses open wide, arms stay attached to the floor, and let's take that foot down towards the floor. So the crossed over foot is down, knee up towards the ceiling, and then lift that all up and go the other way. And then back again. And then back. And then let's stay in the twist with that footprint on the floor. You might need to keep adjusting where your head is here because we might actually be doing a little walk around on the floor. And your knee is open, pressed up towards the ceiling. Breathe here, shoulders on the floor. Okay, let's flip that up. Put that foot down. We're going to roll over onto your side and push off up to sitting. Whew, feel like we've been our head very low there. Okay, let's get into a 90-90 position here. So it's leg swirl, but then we're trying to make 90 degrees at the front knee and then 90 degrees at the back knee. So the back knee pushes right back behind you. You can use your towel here to prop that lifted hip up, or you can just bring your legs less 90, just bring your back knee forward. Hands down in front of you, try and bring your elbows down. And we're trying to have your chest equal forward here. Okay, let's come on up. Bring your legs in. We'll flip them over to the other side. Push that back knee back. Bring that front heel away to try and make 90 degrees at each knee. And then hands forward. Okay, let's push off the floor. Bring your knees in and let's flip over to kneeling. Come up to high kneeling, tuck your toes under and sit back onto your heels. So you squash your toes. Good, we're going to come up and step one foot out to the side and then sit back onto that one foot and squash. We're stretching toe flexors. Try not to have any escapees if you get the toes in. So obviously you can just weigh less into this foot if it's feeling awful. Try and have your heel towards your midline, so you're mostly squashing the big toe. Then take your hand out to the side, opposite to that stretched out leg, and push your hips forward, arm up towards the ceiling, toes still tucked under behind you. Push your hips forward and see if you can lift this leg. So we're in a side star. Get a big stretch down the top of your body. And let's come down, bring those toes in. So back to double knee kneeling, both toes tucked under. Come up, other leg out to the side, sit back on one foot. These are a bit love-hate, probably hate-hate. I quite like them, so like-hate. Try and bring that heel in, so you're really squashing the big toe. You'll notice if you have big toe issues like bunions or something, really won't like doing that. Let's take the other hand, push the other hand out to the side. Push your hips forward, arm up towards the ceiling. Try and open out, and then lift that leg. We're reaching. Okay, let's bring that knee in. Let's come on up. Put that knee down on the floor, knees hip width, hands down in front of you. Hover your knees, push your bottom right up towards the ceiling, push your heels towards the floor. Keep your knees bent, and let's press our chest towards our thighs in a downward dog. Look at your feet, turn your heels out. So your feet should look slightly turned in. And we're going to do little walks forward of your feet. So elephant walk, you take a tiny step forward with one foot, heel pressing towards the floor. Little step forward with the other foot. Little step. Little step. So keep going for as long as you can. When your feet get flat on the floor, you'll need to bend your knees more probably. Try and keep going. Okay, so until we're in a forward fold, with your feet hip width, your knees bent, hips pressed up towards the ceiling. And let's start to roll up. Take your time to rolling. You're restacking your spine from the bottom all the way up. Nearly finished, and I'll run over. Whew. Give your shoulders a roll. Well done. Let's take both arms up, take a big breath, stretch right up, and then heels down, and drop over your legs, breathing out. Reach up, big breath in, big stretch, and then breathe out, and drop. Very good. So I'm booking up face-to-face classes.